What's up, everybody?
What's happening, guys? Thanks for stopping in to the live chat here with myself, the Rust Belt Mechanic, and
Captain Ron.
the Captain Ron.
What's happening, Rust Belt?
So we've got a good stream going tonight here for you guys. We've kind of got a new setup here, so work with us. We're kind of trying to figure out a new little setup here. Kind of working. Hope you guys enjoyed the intro music. I'm enjoying that one a whole lot as well. Torque that...
Dude, what's up with the voice? What's up with what voice?
What voice? I don't know of any voice. Ninja Turtles, always awesome.
Hell yeah.
What's up, Jason? Thanks for stopping in.
A little blurry. Yeah, I know. We're trying to work on this.
Adjust. Adjust.
Sounds like a fender bender commercial. I don't know.
Oh, I don't hear nothing. So,
you guys are gonna make me check live stream now. Just make sure it doesn't look like crap.
Yeah, we're gonna check it here just to make sure everything's working. It sounds great.
Looks and sounds good to me.
I guess his stuff's just wrong. Your stuff's broken, man. Stuff's broken. You guys shop at Hot Topic. Is Hot Topic still even a store?
Is that apparently we can't move a lot because this thing like.
Well, stop it. So we've been working a whole lot this week. It's been a rough week in the shop, working back and forth. Captain Ron's been at school, back and forth. He's in at the shop like 2 days a week. Now like half days, two half days,
2 half days and 1 3/4 days. So.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, new hats. Yeah, I got a new one this week. At the shop, we got some new Dodge ones.
I'm not wearing my new hat. I'm not wearing my new hat. I'm not wearing my Hellcat hat.
Yep. Dodge finally got us some new stuff in this week at work, so that was nice. I had to wait in special order and get some of them in for my gigantic head that I have. So
YouTube does that to you.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it'll happen. Asshole.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
You got a little something in your throat?
Yeah.
Like normal?
No. JC, I do have a Cummins hat, and I'll wear that one this next week. I didn't want to mess that one up yet. I was kind of saving it for the event that I actually get one someday soon here, hopefully.
Bogdan B says, hi from Columbus, Ohio.
It's from Columbus, Ohio.
Our neighbor.
That's right. So our crates shipped out, our toolheads crates, they shipped out on Friday.
Yes, they did.
It was kind of a nerve-wracking thing. I'm not going to lie.
Just a little bit.
The first day when we actually took the site live, I was pretty nervous that day. Just seeing how things would turn out, how much people would, show interest towards it. But I think that actually having them shipped out was like way more nervous about it. And especially when everybody was going to, start getting them in here in the next couple of weeks. Yeah.
Putting them together was nerve-wracking enough. Because I don't know how many... I mean, even though I had everything separated... We had everything separated... excuse me. Separated out like we were supposed to.
Throat,
yep.
Like normal.
Yep. But even though we had everything separated out the way it was supposed to be, I still felt like I was second-guessing myself. Like, did I put things in the right place? Did I do the right boxes for the right packages and stuff like that? And
so, if by any chance we have made human error in putting these boxes out, we do apologize ahead of time for that, and we will rectify anything that was messed up in that. We do know of one crate that did not get shipped out on Friday. Will be shipped out Monday morning just because there was a shortage of a certain size of shirt. But that single one will be sent out on Monday. So I apologize about that one ahead of time.
Andrew V says, well, if I'm missing a sticker, thanks, Ron. Shut up, Jim. I see you helping pack all these things.
Mr. Candy Jim over here.
Hi, Jim.
Yep, so we got those things out. So everybody, a lot of the people, at least in the near vicinity in the United States, should be getting it tomorrow. International, I'm sorry, you guys might be 1 or 2 days out in the Canadian region or out in the West Coast, But, you guys are going to start seeing them, and that's kind of what we're hoping for. People are going to start seeing them. You're going to start seeing them pop up on Instagram and YouTube. We really want to get people's opinions on how these things turned out. The first month, it's not going to be to where it's going to be the best crate ever, because just starting things out, we are trying to make them as best as we possibly can, taking, a whole lot less inside of the way of revenue. And, the more subscribers that we get, the more that we're going to be able to pass on the savings of these things to you guys as well.
Or put bigger or better things in them.
Correct. If we get, bigger, companies are going to give us more and better deals on ordering more things as well. So we have always said that we are going to keep the same margin on every single package. So it doesn't matter if we get, a killer deal one month on the certain things that we put into it. That just means we're going to put more stuff into the crates.
And that also means that, sorry to cut you off, but just like Andrew V said, he made an Instagram just so he could post about it. That's the other thing, too, is that if you guys do get these boxes...
Hashtags, baby. Hashtags.
Hashtag them. Tag us in them. Tag me and me and Rust Belt and JRC and Toolheads Crate. But get it out there on social media. Get it out there on any platform that you possibly can, whether it be YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. But the more you guys put that stuff out there and show it off, the more that these other companies are going to go searching for it. And they're going to say, hey, a lot of these people are getting it. A lot of these people like the stuff that's going into it. We should probably look into it as well.
Mm-hmm. Right now, we're kind of having to put forward more things on actually reaching out and getting things for the crates. A lot of people obviously aren't going to be coming forward to us because they don't see a physical first product out yet. Right. So once we actually have our first product out, that's where we're hopefully going to be able to see more support in that area. So the support is going to come from you guys. You guys are always the legs and support of the channel and of Toolheads Crate. So we'd love to hear what you guys have to say about it. If you guys have any opinions or different things that you guys would like to see in them, feel free to message us anytime. You can send me an email. You can send Toolheads Crate an email anytime, just to get some ideas out there. We're human. We don't come up with absolutely everything every time.
Right.
It happens, but yeah. How do you like to sniff her of the channel in the truck the other day? I didn't get that.
I don't know. But I do have a question for the chat. Specifically Zach Taylor. Well, I don't know why he thinks I have a thing for Mechanic Chick. Like every stream that we do, he comes in asking if I'm with Mechanic Chick or if I'm whatever. It's like I don't know where that comes from.
Captain's taken.
Captain is taken.
His wife would have something to say about that one.
Probably.
So getting into the first thing of chat tonight, stuff to talk about, we're going to go into some automotive news that we've had popped up throughout this week. The UAW, I don't know if you guys are keeping up or if you guys have shops that you keep up to date that you have a union on, but the UAW has been ramping things up big time in the automotive manufacturer side of stuff. The UAW is preparing to go on more strike, which will, I think, hurt our industry in the long run, just because of, you have shortages of cars, shortages of parts. It hurts things huge amounts when they go on strike, at least at our level. Mm-hmm. Chrysler's already horrible on being able to get parts out to us as we come, as we're working on things.
No kidding.
But, it's worse when they go on strike. We can't get parts. They can't get cars ordered in. It takes like 6 months for a special ordered vehicle. I mean, what's that? So I get it. There's a reason for unions in helping out to get better wages, better work environments for the companies, but it seems more and more often that a lot of the times that it hurts everybody else in the industry, and I don't think they take that into effect very often. So that was one of the things that they're actually ramping things up, because they believe that here in the next couple of years, the automotive sector, they're going to be cutting upwards of 35,000 jobs on the way of manufacturing because of the newer electronic vehicles. A lot of those EVs and stuff, they use a whole lot less parts,
Yeah.
No combustion engine, there's a lot less parts in an electric vehicle to have to use.
Not to mention just parts, but moving parts in that matter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean...
What's up, Working to Relax?
What's up, man?
Yeah, these electric vehicles, they're going to take the market and they're going to change everything in the way that we look at things. So they're estimating 35,000 jobs lost, so they're going to go fight for those jobs, obviously, because that is their job. But not only are they going to lose jobs, they're going to spend more money in trying to help those guys out and going on strike because there's not enough jobs when you're going to take more jobs away by going on strike. I don't know. I get the point of strike, but I see there's a hindrance in it more often than not.
I tell you what, I've been in unions before. Like when I was a cable tech, and specifically when I worked for AT&T, we were part of a union, and we were on strike twice in the 5 years that I was a cable guy for AT&T, and it literally doesn't. I mean, I understand why they go on strike, but half the time they go on strike for such little meaningless crap that doesn't even help the bottom tier guy.
And it costs you a whole lot too.
Well, not only does it cost the company, but it costs the technicians or the people that are working too. Because if you're on strike, and let's say you know that's your job and that's the only income you have, you go on strike, you're not getting paid to be on strike.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore,
no. Automotive News said the UAW, they are paying the people who go on strike because that's one of the big things.
Different.
That's one of the big things of the UAW. But these guys who are in the UAW, at their factory jobs, they're making on average like $28 an hour.
Right.
So what's the UAW going to pay them for a week's wage on strike?
Typically, well, I mean, if it was like any other union, it would probably be like an average of what your hours are. But
$250 flat.
I was going to say
and they just announced that they're going to up their wages to them to a $275 a week to go on strike.
Yeah. Unions are stupid in my opinion. I mean, I was in, like I said, I was in that union and I paid $25 a paycheck for them literally to do hardly nothing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like they say they work for you and they protect your job and blah 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 blah. They don't. They really don't.
I can see where they're coming from, and the almighty dollar and the greed of some companies do outweigh the wants and the needs of their workers in some circumstances. But in 90% of the circumstances that I see, it hinders not only that company but the market as a whole as well. So I really hope we don't see another big strike come on with the oncoming of the electric vehicles. But the way the UAW is talking, it looks like we're going to be running into another one of those 2008 situations again where, we're going to go on a whole bunch of strikes. We're going to have hopefully no more bankruptcies within, viewpoint here.
And then what'll happen is that they'll put all of our parts on back order and we will not get parts forever.
Mm-hmm. That was a bad time to see it go through that one. Yeah, it was bad. But in talking about electric vehicles, there was some more news from Auto News this week. If anybody knows or has worked on electric vehicles, they make a really weird noise in like park or at like 5 miles an hour.
Yeah, or at slow speeds.
So there is a government mandate in both the UK and the US that electric vehicles under 13 miles an hour have to make some sort of audible noise at a certain decibel level. I believe it's like I want to say it was like 75 decibels around there, where it has to make right in that range. And not a whole lot more, not a whole lot less.
Steven says he's a hybrid technician.
Yep. So they're required to make those, and all of the vehicles that either didn't have them or don't have one that meet the new standards have to be upfit in the US by 2020 and in the UK by 2021. But they haven't said really a whole lot of things on what those noises have to be.
Right.
All they said that they can't be is beeping sounds.
Right.
Or a horn, siren, something.
Right. Nothing that would emulate a
emergency
or an like get out of the way.
Correct. So now all these companies, they're going to be trying to differentiate themselves in making their unique EV noises. So I have a feeling that you're going to see a whole lot of weird ones coming out ice cream music. I see it now. And that would be the Honda. I could see that out of the Honda. The Honda Odysseys making ice cream music.
Yep.
But there's a couple of companies that have already started down the path of finding their unique sounds. VW, they got in contact with the makers of the sci-fi movie Gattaca. Mm-hmm. A really big sci-fi movie where, you know, it's got all of the Star Wars-esque style noises, you know, where you see the land speeder or something like that go across the screen. They're going more sci-fi.
Jetsons noise. That's what it needs to be.
Oh, aftermarket sounds are going to be an almost immediate thing once these EVs start to get more popular.
Somebody's going to get it and program it to play
Bohemian Rhapsody church music. That's what I'm talking about, Brad.
No, you'll hear is you'll be walking down the street and here comes an electric vehicle and all of a sudden you hear Toto playing Africa. Nope, can't be a train horn.
Can't be a horn, can't be a beeper or anything like that, and it has to be under a certain decibel level. So
just Lewis Black screaming.
And then Mercedes said that they are going to be moving in their higher line to emulate their V12 sounds of like the AMGs. The V8s of the AMGs or their higher pitched revving V12s.
Ford Mustang EV will play Slayer, Raining Blood.
They're going to do that one. And then for their lower line, they've actually contracted with none other than Lincoln Park to get their electronic vehicle noise testing done for their lower line vehicles. So what do you imagine that Lincoln Park, of all people, can come up for with an EV noise?
I don't even want to imagine.
Emo wailing? Soft rock?
Soft rock, yeah.
Soft rock in it. That's what do you guys
Come
think
down
about
the street,
that one?
you'll hear falling in
my skin. Oh man. Cannon, if you saw the video last week, we did do some modification on the Duramax on that one. We did an XDP block kit for the heater grid, EGR, etc. We did that one along with the 2-inch PPE up pipes and Profab high flow manifolds. We did that one, and it totally changed the sound of the Duramax. So much that, you know, my wife's like, what was that started up out there? It sounds like way different, even with the exact same exhaust.
Andrew says Fiat will play Purple Rain.
Who's going to play the Chocolate Rain?
Chocolate Rain. That would be awesome. I would totally drive that car.
You'd drive the Chocolate Rain car?
I would drive the Chocolate Rain car. That would be awesome.
You guys are coming up with some pretty good ones. Careless Whisper.
It could be the Nyan Cat theme.
No. The Meow Mix.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There we go. It's down the street.
Chocolate Rain from many EVs.
Chocolate Salty Balls. Jeep will do Limp Biscuit.
Now that one, you see a Wrangler rolling down with a Limp Biscuit.
Well, they are coming. Those are coming.
They are. That was one of the weirdest things. So a lot of the other manufacturers that are going to be harping on, you know, not only going EV, but, you know, just more hybrid. That's
Move,
perfect.
Bitch. Get out the way.
Get out the way. I was very surprised, you know, when I heard that Chrysler was going to move into their EV market, not in the Chrysler 300s or the Chargers.
No.
But starting off in the Jeep lineup with the Wranglers, the Grand Cherokees, the Cherokees.
I don't know whose idea that was, but it was a bad one.
I don't think it's going to... I mean, SUVs are selling. That is one of the biggest things in the market right now. But a Wrangler? That was one of the hard sells I think that you're going to have. Is people are in the Wrangler market these days for the Wrangler point of view.
They're in it for the Wrangler look. They're not in it for the Wrangler mobility. so to speak.
50-50, because, you know, everybody in the Wrangler is kind of like the Duramax side of the world. Where you buy a Duramax, what do you want to do? Tune it, delete it, make it go fast.
Yeah, but how many? I mean, out of all the Wranglers that we see come in from a day-to-day basis, how many do we actually see that are being used like a Wrangler should be used?
Now, there's a big difference between the way they should be used and the way that people think that they'll be used. They spend money off of the way that they think they'll be used, not how they'll actually use them. Because if I would spend money on how I actually use vehicle, do you think I'd have a 2500 lifted diesel?
No.
do I really need that?
No.
Not really. I mean, it helps. It does help. But,
It does
you
help.
know, in most situations I wouldn't need that. But people spend money off what they want, not what they need. So they crazy amount of mall crawlers that are purchased right now. Our dealership's one of the largest dealerships that carries Rocky Ridge modified lifted trucks and the Wranglers in stock.
Yeah.
We've got like 50 or so lifted Jeeps and trucks in stock.
Yeah.
From Rocky Ridge all the
And
time.
we consistently get them in, so it's not like they're not selling.
What's up, Hard Knocks?
What's up, Hard Knocks?
Good to see you in here, buddy. So, yeah, we go through a lot of them, and probably on average, 95% of them will never see off-road. If they consider it off-road, it'll be a gravel driveway.
Right.
How many of them have we sent in for having rock chips or rust on the edges of some of their upfitted parts?
A lot.
A lot. So some of these people, they're worried about, they live in Ohio, first off. They're worried about a little bit of corrosion on the bits of their upfitted parts, their steel rock boards, their steel cover taillight covers.
They're buying them just because they look pretty at that point.
They do. So when they're getting into the
When
warranty
they're being
side,
that picky about freaking rust on their little bit of, I got this little tiny piece of rust like this big.
from a rock chip.
a rock
I got
chip.
a rock chip on my Wrangler, and they're screaming, "Oh, warranty! I need some warranty here, please!" And that's all they're trying to preach to us, and we're just like, technically, yeah, but you know,
Quit being a.
you guys are pansies. Just stop. Just stop it. You bought a Wrangler. We would imagine to use like a Wrangler, but it's never used like a Wrangler. Yeah.
Then you get those people who drive 4 low on the highway and bust their intermediate shaft.
Legit. That did happen. We had a guy who was not very well versed with 4-wheel drive vehicles. So it snowed here, like the first time that it snowed more than like half an inch.
Yeah.
Dude freaked out. Thought because, hey, well, you know, it's snowing outside. We need to have a Jeep Wrangler in 4-wheel drive.
Mm-hmm.
So what's he do? He slams that bitch down into 4 low, and he takes off. What's he got? Half an hour drive to Eaton
Yeah.
from here. Half-hour drive
In
on
4 low
on the interstate.
on the interstate.
And he wonders, just can't get it through his head why somebody would sell him a car that can't perform in 4-wheel drive at 70 miles an hour going down the interstate.
For 30,
Why did
for
it
30
blow?
for 35 minutes?
Why did it blow apart a CV joint? Oh my gosh, why did this happen? Maybe they're not made for that. Oh, owner's manuals. That's another thing that who actually reads their owner's manuals anymore? I mean, how overrated are those?
I mean, the fact that Rocky Ridge or even some of the Wranglers now are coming with flash drives that have your owner's manual on it just because they know you're not going to read it.
Mm-hmm.
It's cheaper to put it on a flash drive and hang it from the rearview mirror than it is to actually print the book.
Oh, yeah. Hard Knocks, exactly. You could sell 75% of those Jeeps and they'd never see 4-wheel drive.
Yep.
Here in Ohio, yes, we do get some inclement weather, but how often this year have we gotten weather on the roads that was in need of 4-wheel drive?
Maybe once.
You drove the Kia like every day.
True.
So when could you not get through it with a lifted Wrangler in 2-wheel drive?
I mean, if you don't know how to use it.
Yeah. I used 4-wheel drive 2 times this last winter. Just 2 times. One was to back my big truck up the driveway when it was icy. Our driveway's got a pretty good incline to it. You know, it's got a pretty steep little bit. So
that was the
getting it
one
up,
where you backed up and then put it in park and it slid back down.
and it slid back down the driveway. So we had to get a little bit of a rolling start in four-wheel drive, get it up the driveway. Then the other time was just me being fun and dumb and going a little bit of off-roading, you know, just to say I did it
Yeah.
in the truck. And, you know, that wasn't on road or anything. It wasn't required of me.
No.
So it had been all right, even in my truck, you know, just in two-wheel drive. Yep.
Jim says he's not cutting his hair. The bum look is the fashion.
I don't know about that, Jim. I think we could do a GoFundMe page for Jim to get his hair chopped off.
He just needs to bet Laura again.
Yeah, you just need to bet Lauren. That's all you need to do, because you're guaranteed to lose on that one. Whenever those kind of bets are thrown into place, she will always win. Always. It's going to have to happen. Yeah. So, yeah. Moving on to some tool news for you guys. Milwaukee, actually, this week. I'm sure...
What's up, Ricky Phillips?
Yeah, I'm sure you guys might have heard, especially Hard Knocks. You probably heard of this, but Milwaukee this last week announced that they're going to be coming out with some new batteries. You know, they haven't really came out and announced any new line of electric tools. The third, fourth gen stuff is, you know, supposedly going to be coming out. They're supposed to have their conference here. I think it's like next month, something like that, on the 19th, here in a month or two. They're going to have that, but they did announce this last week that they're going to make an extended capacity and a smaller, lighter weight battery, the CP battery lines. Two different battery lines. The extended capacity battery line is going from, they said, 18,650 lithium cells. That's tiny cells within these batteries for being able to hold the charge, to 21,700 cells in the extended capacity. Still going to be the same. They're going to come out at first with the 3 amp hour M12 battery line, and then they're going to be ramping over to the M18s as well. They're also going to say that these batteries are going to have a 30% faster charge time with it, along with different chargers that are a faster rated charger, so that you're going to have quicker battery charges as well. No more having to wait upwards, you know, an hour for a full M18 battery charge. They're going to be able to charge up, you know, 30 to 40% better.
Or having to buy two and wait, you know, keep one on standby.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's going to be awesome, especially for us as technicians in the M12 line. I really like the M12 stuff. The M18, it's badass in my half-inch Milwaukee Impact. It's an awesome tool.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to break down and buy one of those.
Yeah,
it's pretty freaking awesome.
I don't use that all the time, all day. The more likely the tools that I'm going to use most of the time during the day is my M12 line of things, my stubby 3/8 and my 1/4 inch Impact. So I'm going to use those more often. So I go through those batteries quite often as well. If I'm doing dash work, where I'm just constantly zip, 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 you know, I need to be able to change one out, put one in. And having those 6 amp hour M12 batteries, those are pretty bulky. They weigh about as much as the tool does in a lot of the circumstances. Let alone you start putting big batteries in those M18s. You start putting the 6 amp and the 9 amp hour battery on a half-inch Impact. Dude, that thing is so bottom heavy.
2 hands like this.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's so bad. So it's already bad to start off with. So they said they had the Red Link line of batteries come out not too long ago. So this is going to be an upgrade even from those. Using the system, they said all the high output batteries will charge in 1 hour or less. And that'll be up to 4 times faster charging time than the standard charger. So thankfully, all of their batteries are going to still work in all of their tools across all the lines. You're not going to have to update your tools or update your batteries to go with either or. You're just, if you want to charge a little bit faster, you're just going to have to get some batteries and some new high capacity chargers. So I see that one being a big seller this summer. You know, around the 4th of July time, people start doing some of their summer projects.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe even earlier than that. I mean, weather cooperates, they'll get those sales out even quicker. Like push it from Memorial Day if we get weather that's decent enough.
Yep, they said here next month they're supposed to be shipping out the M12 ones are supposed to be coming out first, I believe is what they say. They said the CP battery models are going to be the smallest and lightest of that generation in the world. So the XC, they'll offer the balance of performance, weight, size. Currently, the HD ones, they're at like 12 ounce, right around there for the M12 ones. So they're going to cut that by 30% for the CP, the smaller version of the batteries. I think that would be really cool if you had, the CP batteries when they come out. They're going to be the same size as the batteries that we currently have, and they're going to have the same exact capacity battery-wise, but they're going to weigh 30 to 40% less.
Yeah. Well, battery technology is always getting better. It's getting higher capacity, but getting smaller size. So it's just a matter of time before the two merge and become that perfect storm of what's going to work best efficiency wise, but also going to be good for the customer to not be super bulky or anything. So.
Well, I think Milwaukee has an M18 shop vac version, but I don't think that they have the full vacuum cleaner like the Ryobi one does. We've actually have the Ryobi version of the vacuum cleaner. I like it a lot.
So before we continue on, let's catch up on some chat stuff real quick. Where was it? Working to Relax asked if there's a price point for the batteries or chargers yet.
Nope, they did not announce that one that I've heard as of yet.
Okay.
This was on Builder Online. They're a magazine online publication. They're the ones who followed the announcement, and that's where I got the information from. So I don't know if they'll be putting something out here in the next day or so, but that was just today that they put that article out.
Oh. Every time you bump this, the monitor up here is moving and the camera, and Ashley's freaking out about it. I promise it's not going anywhere. People are excited about the Toolhits crates coming tomorrow.
Yes.
So several people have said that. A ways back, Tool Addicts Boston asked, at the dealership I work at, when it comes to music, we all agree to something. How do you guys deal with others' music?
I don't deal with others' music.
No,
you see
don't.
me in a lot of my videos, and throughout the day I wear my AirPods. I don't have them in now. I don't like listening to a lot of other people's stuff. I don't like to hear people whining or bitching across the shop because I have to deal with that quite often enough. As the shop foreman, I get it. People talking at me all day long. I'm getting phone calls from warranty companies left and right with our conversion vans and upfitters that we've got. So I'm getting those calls. So I don't have time to go back and forth between my phone, talking this, talking that. So that's why I wear my AirPods, and I get to listen to whatever I want to during the day.
And I'm kind of the same way. Typically, in our dealership, it comes down to how the people up front feel, because a lot of times they'll turn the intercom system on and put the radio on it. And then we're forced to listen to country music, which, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying, Will.
They a lot of the dealerships, at least around here, they keep it country music because a lot of the local stations, they're known as, I guess, easy listening. They're more family friendly oriented.
Yeah.
They've got a lot less talk shows that are able to, drop the dams, bitches, and everything like that.
Exactly.
So they have to follow more stringent rules.
Yeah.
But
so a lot of times they'll put country music on. If not, then I know like Russ Belt said, he's got his own earbuds that he uses. I've got a setup that I use that I actually just keep one in one ear and use the other one just to listen for somebody yelling for me or whatever like that. But I've also got a set of something in my throat again, like usual. But I've also got a set of Snap-on 10mm speakers that I got for a promotional item that I use from time to time, and I'll play like 80s or 90s music through that, and typically the other people don't have a problem with it.
Christine says, I think our HR is broadcasting disco over the PA now. If ours decided to do that,
disco,
we'd actually have a really good laugh at that one, just because it would be something different.
It would be.
Because if you guys do actually listen to country music, and it's your thing, whatever, I'm not going to dog on it, But the country music stations that we have playing at our dealership all the time,
You can
they play the same 6 damn songs.
You can set your watch to when the hour clicks over because you hear the next song, the same song every hour on the hour.
They might switch up the playlist a little bit here and there, just the order, but the same 6 songs are going to play every hour.
How many times a day did you and I, being at work, hear that one damn song that I absolutely hated?
What's that one damn song?
That one that's like, how about, what was it?
How About That? It sounds like How About That.
It was Catch Me, or what was it? Catch Me Outside or something like that.
Catch Me Around Here.
It was like every hour I'd have to hear him across the shop yelling that at me. And I'm like, shut up.
We try to bring a little bit of fun and humor into the shop. And that was like one of the only things, because we all had to suffer the exact same amount in it. It was interesting to say the least. Yeah. So that's why we both kind of are on the side of, we like to just have the music and the daily things that we listen to on our own terms.
Said, don't tell them they have Snap-on Bluetooth earbuds, because that'll be the next thing you bring home.
I'd have to do a testing and a product review.
I'll test some of those.
I mean, I would.
Where's
I'd
Kevin?
Have to do that.
Let's call Kevin. Kevin, we need Bluetooth earbuds now.
No, I don't think they'd be. If they had Snap-on version of Apple AirPods, yeah, I'd have 2 or 3 sets.
2 or 3? Why would you need 2 or 3 sets of those?
So I'd make sure I have them for the next 3 years. My AirPods that I have, usually how I use them, which is pretty rough, I use them and I'd have them about 9 months to a year at a time before they need to get replaced. Something goes wrong with them. But yeah.
Yoda, you say that. When I was younger, I worked in a grocery store, and the only thing they played was solid gold oldies from like the 50s and 60s. So that's what I grew up listening to every day when I was at work at the grocery store.
Steve's got a good question. He said, how long does it take to make level 3? In our situation, in Chrysler's world, I don't know how it is in Ford, Honda Pact, or GM ASAP and stuff like that. But level 3 in Chrysler is pretty much almost to the top, aside from having your master certifications. Their version of level 3 is that you have all of their required training that is up to date. Now, there's 2 different forms to get to that one. One would be going through the Chrysler CAP program, which is what I did, and what is he is currently doing. Going along those lines, after 2 years, you will have level 2 in everything across the board. Mm-hmm. All 8 areas. Plus, they will get you into level 3 of 2 or 3 of the different things as well.
Yep.
Get you most of the way there. That's in a 2-year degree program, which also gets you a degree as well. So there's that on top of it. Now, if you just go into a dealership, you're starting out doing oil changes and, just starting at the bottom of the totem pole, working your way up, and going through Chrysler's line of their tests. You have to go to their courses. If you're really, really on it, it's going to take you upwards of 3 years, usually, to get through that one, just because you could do them faster. You really could. But you're at the mercy of Chrysler and their scheduling of their service centers to be able to do the training. Their training centers fall behind a lot of times because they have to keep up to date on the newer updates. Some of the update courses for the newer vehicles, like you have electric vehicles coming out with newer style batteries, newer systems that nobody knows about. They've got to get that information out to as many people as they possibly could to be able to get information out for new vehicles coming up. So when they have time to get back to intro to brakes or intro to electrical or something like that, the classes are very few and far between. So starting out is kind of hard when it gets into those lines, just because the scheduling of the courses are so far between. So it's going to take you a lot longer to do it that way. But, if you stay diligent, do all your online courses, you are able to get up there eventually.
Yeah. Warren asked, yo, Ron, how does schooling affect your pay at the dealership? How does that work? It basically boils down to the fact that if I'm at school, I'm not getting paid. If I have to be in the shop to make the money. So with me being in school right now for the next 8 weeks, well, 7 technically. So for the next 7 weeks, it's going to be 2 half days and 1 3/4 day on a Saturday, and that's pretty much all I've got. So, while I was there full time in my internship, kind of had to, kind of put money back to kind of take care of when I was in school. But the nice thing is that this is my last semester, so once May gets here, I'll be done. I'll be graduated. I'll be full time, flat rate, and I won't have to worry about it anymore.
That'll be a nice relief to you.
You have no idea. I've been back to school for a week, and I already miss being at the dealership.
What's your last one?
Huh?
Last one.
Yeah, last 8 weeks, but still, I hate not being there.
You miss out, and I know school is a whole different kind of learning experience too when you're talking about hands-on training versus in-school training. In school, under my opinion at least, you're going to learn a lot more of the basic side of things. They're going to go in depth of, especially for electrical one, showing you how the electron flow of a 12-volt system works. That's really nice because in the dealership, you're not going to have time or a mentor who wants to take the time to have to teach that to you very much. So, that sucks. But then on the other side of things, when you go into the dealership, when you see the day-to-day things that come into the shop, you're seeing the same failure rates across the board. You're able to, if you have a good mentor, able to get across the diagnostic process on how things work on the things that actually are coming into the shop that you're seeing. They can only do theoretical exercises at school. Half the time, I remember an electrical class where half the time you would look across and see what kind of codes, and you're like, yeah, I know it's a communication issue with this module, so I'm just going to go rooting around here in this module and find out, oh, look, they've got a ground strap wire attached to this one. So I'm like, well, find what that circuit is and write that one down just because, you're looking for them bugging vehicles.
Well, it's even like engine performance too right now. We're doing scan tools.
Scan tools?
Aftermarket scan tools.
In your final quarter.
Yeah.
That's what you guys are learning about.
Yeah.
That's kind of sad.
Yeah. And on top of that, the only time I've in the last week, I've touched YTech one time. No, twice. At the school. The rest of it has been Snap-on, 2 or 3 Snap-on scan tools, another older scan tool, another super old one that runs on a laptop that he's like, you're going to look at it one time and this is it. And I'm like, this is what, why? Why am I doing this? It's like, I sit there and I'm like, I'm doing it and I'm like, I don't want to do this. This is not why I'm in this class.
Yep, that sucks. It
really does.
Some of the points that school tries to harp on is, I would imagine, it's some of the curriculum requirements.
Oh, I know it is.
That they have to follow. But the point in which they put stuff into the rotation, you're like, wow, we should have done this like 10 months ago.
Let's put it this way. My teacher for Engine Performance 2, I straight up asked him, I said...
Yeah, YTech's been down the rest of the time.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I straight up asked him, I said, do we need the book for this course? And he told me, if you can follow along, you don't need the book.
So not only do they have these courses, and then they have required books for the courses, but they don't use the required books for the courses.
Yeah. There's been several classes I've went through that don't use the required books. Because half the time they give us Chrysler books that they give us, and we work out of those. Like let's see, last semester I bought 3 ebooks. One of them I don't even think I opened.
That's depressing. Yeah, that sucks. Straight Six fan, you're going to be in the market for a new torque wrench soon. Now I know you do a lot of things, on like the side. He's not an everyday mechanic, so there are quite a few different options out there for that. There's been some pretty good videos out here. Hard Knocks has done some of the torque wrenches. I know that Lowe's has been coming out with a couple of the Husky models. I think were pretty decent for the entry level torque wrenches to come into. Obviously, the amount that you are using them for in the torque wrench of, putting heads on the older vehicles and such. You're not going to have, down to the inch pound of what you need. So I think a good entry level one would be around, along the lines of a Husky. I wouldn't recommend a Pittsburgh one. I'm just not a fan of those at all. But yeah, I do like the Husky brand. They came out with a pretty decent one.
Not to get totally off subject again.
But here we go.
I want to know where we got off tangent in chat about apparently
we're not gonna go
my
on that.
adult career that I supposedly have.
We're not going to go on that tangent. No, we don't need to do that one.
Oh, the light shut off.
We lost a battery. Just for an FYI, so we've been going for 50 minutes and 7 seconds now. That's how long a 2 amp hour battery lasts for a Ryobi light. Here's another battery.
Well, I was going to get the light and show that too, because that just shows, what it's...
We went through one of the new... I showed it in chat once or twice before, was our Ryobi dual light here that we used in the garage quite often. We were kind of using it for backlight and stuff, but
oh, good lord, dude!
That's a Brighton.
I don't need to see that.
We were using that for some backlight here for it, and that's how long a 2 amp hour battery lasts. So it's good to know.
On full power.
On full power. So I'd say that's kind of impressive. I do like that one.
Mm-hmm. I thought somebody shut the lights off in here. Like somebody tilted upstairs.
Yeah, that was bad. So we know that Strike 6 fans in here. So was Jason from Old Car Auto Guy.
What's up, guys?
He was in here. So if anybody hasn't stopped on over to their channels, they do a live stream also on Thursday evenings. They go through some automotive news, some news with their channels. They try to help out a lot of smaller channels as well. So if you guys are a YouTube channel and looking to start off things, get networked into a couple of other channels, and just in general get out there and talk to other channels as well, that's a really good place to go. So make sure you guys subscribe over to Old Car Auto Guy's channel. He is going to be the one who's going to be hosting this next Thursday evening stream, which is going to be held at, I believe it's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's always 8 p.m. my time, at least, where I will also be doing a co-host for the show as well. We're going to be talking some automotive news, tools, tech news, helping out some of the newer YouTube streams, giving some tips and tricks here and there to be able to start off, see how their weeks went, and just give some advice to those streams as well. I know Captain Ron has been doing pretty dynamite this week. How you been doing on your stream, on your channel?
My channel actually grew by some leaps and bounds this week, thanks to a couple shout-outs, or at least a shout-out from you, and, just being active in some other chat rooms and stuff. But yeah, I'm pretty close to hitting 600 subs. Not too far away from it, but, we'll get there. But if you guys haven't checked out my channel, I did do a video with a tour of Sinclair, where I do go to college and where he went to college. So if you guys want to go check that out, head over to my channel and take a look at it. But coming up in the next couple weeks on mine, I'm going to start doing interviews and tours of what the other programs at the college go through. So we'll go through the Mopar CAP program, we'll go through the Honda program, we'll go through the GM program that they have there. Is there any other ones there I'm not thinking of?
Honda Pack program.
The Honda Pack program, ASAP, Ford's got one there. I thought there was another one, but I can't remember. But we're going to talk to some of the
Honda and Acura,
the coordinators there, and talk to what they need to do to get into their programs, just to give everybody kind of a heads up on what they can expect going into school for the first time if they need to. So that's what I got coming up on my channel.
Sweet. So I think you're growing pretty well, because you've been doing this for what? 2 months? Month and a half? 2 months?
Well,
something like that.
Something like that.
We're gonna do a generalization to that.
I think it's 2 months, because that came out. I don't know. 2 months.
Yeah, we'll just say 2 months. So
2 months is a good
up
thing.
up over 600 subs in 2 months.
Almost to 600 subs in 2 months.
I'd say that's doing pretty awesome. Well, I know when I first started things out, which, by the way, yesterday was my 1 year anniversary. High fives on that one. 1 year anniversary on starting my Rust Belt Mechanic videos and such that I started off on. So if anybody's seen some of my stuff from early on, yeah, the quality in the video is pretty potato-ish. I'm gonna have to admit that one. It's pretty special.
Pretty potato-ish?
Pretty potato-ish. I know some of the...
For sure it is potato-ish.
It is quite potato-ish. I definitely shot it on a GoPro 2 that I got handed down secondhand from that one at the time. So
yep.
It was pretty horrid sound quality and everything. So it took me almost 4 months to get to the point where I was up over 700 subs. So it took me quite some time to get to that point. And then from there, obviously, the bigger that you go on there, the more you grow exponentially. Like for this last week, I went up. I'm actually down some for the week, but I am up 252 subs this week.
Nice.
So it gets going up pretty decently each week. Usually I go up anywhere from 20 to 40 a day, somewhere around there, right where I'm at. Right now on the channel, I think the sub count as of right this moment is 13,511.
Look at those guys.
Look at those guys. Pretty live stream. So we're going up pretty decently in the channel. Getting a lot of extra videos out. That also helps to have more content out there as well. I always harp on quite a few, just little things for channels with guys starting things out. Making sure where you guys are at in the kind of content that you have for your channels, that you stay on point to that. You don't have something where you're jumping between 3 or 4 different things like, oh yeah, this week I'm going to do a driving thing. Oh yeah, this week I'm going to do playing some, video games. Oh yeah, this week I'm going to go to the beach and, just do this. Oh, I'm going to go clean my garage out. Dude, this is how I sweep it. It's guys, they find a hard time bouncing back and forth between the things. But at the same time, it's good to have variety, but just not too far out in the wilderness of variety. I know.
So you're saying I shouldn't do fishing videos in the summer?
It probably wouldn't help out some of the views for the channel. Some of the guys would love it. They really would. Like on my channel, I do a couple of different things. I do lifted trucks that I did a lot earlier on, not as much now. I do the build on the Duramax, and then I also do things with dealership tools, stuff at work. And that's where a lot of my views come from, are from the tool guys, the dealership, the technician side of things. That's where I'd say probably 80% of my viewers come from. My Duramax content, I really enjoy that one. That one's something that I do for it, and I love doing it. Thanks for stopping in, Jason. I appreciate it. Make sure if you guys haven't checked out his channel, Old Car Auto Guy,
yep,
we're going to be live there on Thursday evening, helping him to co-host.
Thanks for stopping by, man.
But yeah, I do the Duramax stuff. Now, if you watch my Duramax content, I probably get 30% of the amount of views off of Duramax and the truck content. It obviously costs a lot more to do that too, so people ask me, why do you do it? Because I like it. It's fun. Yeah. It's kind of, a fun, eventful thing away from the normal day-to-day grind of, yes, I work with, the dealership things and the tools all day long. Sometimes I find it hard to get into the rhythm, to want to do reviews, tool reviews. It's pretty easy to do it, but you just kind of got to be in that mood. I know you've, hit a couple of hurdles on just getting into that mindset of coming out with the content for it.
Yeah, I have. I mean, it's hard for me because, I know that one big thing for videos, especially in the market that we're in, is tool videos. Just like your nifty tools of the week, you get crazy reviews off that. And for me, being in the spot that I'm in, it's hard for me to do stuff like that because I don't have a whole lot of nifty tools to be able to fall back on. Mm-hmm. I've got what I started with, and I'm not at the point right now for getting new tools. I mean, I'm going to be making another tool purchase here pretty soon, but it's not going to be anything that people haven't seen. So, to have those tool videos like that, it's hard for a beginner mechanic to be able to actually do that because You know, it's just, you're just rehashing all the same stuff that you've rehashed from time to time. So, you know, for me to come up with videos, it is kind of a painstaking process sometimes because I've got to think about it so difficult, you know, so hard. Trying to figure out like what's a good video that's going to have good content, but also
thanks straight six. Take it easy, man.
But also going to be a video that a new technician is going to be able to utilize.
Mm-hmm. Plus, a lot of the time also has been that when you got started a couple of months ago, we are kind of starting in the dead middle of Ohio winter, and it's just kind of depressing around. It kind of sucks, but you know we're a lot of outdoor families and stuff, so we like to go out and do things. I like, you know, this last summer you've seen some of my videos. I do a lot of them outside in my garage, just outside of my garage. I like working on my truck at home. And it's really hard to do that right now in the sub-zero. I mean, shoot, today, if the ground was cold enough, we'd have had 2.5 inches of snow.
Yeah.
Some of that snow that we had fallen today, it's a good thing that ground temp was upwards of 40 degrees, or else we'd have had a bad news for this evening.
They wouldn't have had school tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. We need to start beard heads crate. Oh, some fresh beard action. There you go. Yeah.
Every crate gets one hair of Rust Belt's beard.
There we go.
Put into it, just for authenticity.
Yeah, I know that, and I've gotten a couple of messages from people with other tool channels that have done the same tool things as other ones, and it's not. I don't look at it as copying content. But at the same time, you know, there's only so many new tools that come out from time to time.
Yeah.
A lot of us, we kind of clamor for who's going to get it and who's going to be able to put out the content first. Some of us, we do like to do some kind of interaction with the tools. Like me, when I do a tool review, if I get it that day, I don't really like to do the review of it that day as well.
Right.
Who's that?
Warren. Warren says, "Here's the help while Ron's in school. $2.99.
Look at you going. Thanks, Warren.
Thanks, Warren. Appreciate it, man.
Heck yeah. So yeah, I like to do a lot of testing with the tools that I have. The scan tools that I did reviews on for Top Done USA, I actually had those for a month for the Artipad Mini before I did the review on that, and I had the Artipad 1 we had that 2 months before I did a review on that one.
Yeah.
We were working out through the bugs, making sure everything works right, everything's, you know, fancy and fantastic.
Read what Jim just posted.
Yeah, I know. I heard from him. Mr. Jim here winning just about everything.
Freaking
Core for Ron's gas money.
$10 for gas money? Hell yeah. Dude, my Kia, that'll fill a tank.
Just about. I might get 3 miles on the Duramax.
That gives you 3 gallons of diesel. That's what it'll do.
3 gallons of diesel, so it might get me to Troy and back.
I don't know why the things aren't updating.
Yep. So, yeah, we kind of find it hard every once in a while to do some of those, but they come to us. They come to us in their own time. So I think for the next week or so with me, I've got a couple of new decent things coming out for you guys. I'm kind of in the truck thing right now. You know, I've got some truck parts coming. Got a couple of sponsored parts for it that I'll be able to put on. I've got I'm finding some of the failure points, not so much failure points, but the shortfall points of the Duramax now. Now that I've boosted the engine torque and everything since we did the programming, we put more air exhaust coming out of it. Now we're falling short on the fuel side of things. We were falling short on the transmission. That thing was like shifting way sloppy. It was bad news. So we put the shift kit in. That has helped tremendously. Absolutely awesome. We are going to do a trans build on it eventually. I just don't really want to have to put $4,000 into it as fast as that. I don't think it'll be that much for me to do it myself. I think it'll be more along the lines of like $2,000, $2,500. But we'll see how that one goes. So we're kind of trying to push that one back. Working on possibly a turbo sometime here in the next couple of weeks. And then we've got a video coming out This next week, I'm going to be doing a couple of air intake pieces. We've got the resonator delete, and then we also have a race fuel valve, because at about 90% throttle at full boost going down the interstate at 70 mile an hour, it runs out of fuel.
What, you mean like last night?
Yeah, it just at about 70, 75, it just because and it pops a code for low fuel rail pressure.
Yep.
Like, guess that CP3 can't keep up, can't suck all the fuel, can't put it all forward. So we're gonna be doing a lift pump too.
Bill, thanks for stopping by, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. And we're not gonna be doing a lift pump like a lot of other guys do. I don't like seeing the lift pumps hanging out from the trucks. That's not the look that I tend to like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like having a lot of things hang below. I've got the electric steps, so they, everything's up, nice, tight, flush under the truck. So we're going to be trying to find ways to sit those fuel pumps and those big fuel filters on. I'm getting an AirDog 4G new 165 gallon per hour lift pump for the Duramax. So we're going to be going through installing that and finding out where to mount it the best way that we can to try get that tight and right. Ashley puts it the right way.
Yep.
So we're going to be doing that one as well, hopefully. And then obviously we're still going to be doing a Nifty Tools of the Week video on Wednesday as well. I don't know how many nifty tools that I'm going to find out, but we're going to see which ones work in the first 2 days of the week.
You'll figure something out.
I legit, each time I do the Nifty Tools of the Week, they are something that I use this week that have helped me. So
something you haven't touched in forever.
Something that has actually been used on a job that week.
Right,
so
I'm saying you haven't used the tool forever, and then all of a sudden this week something comes up, and you're like, oh,
wow, that's a nice tool to use.
Haven't used that for a while, but we should throw that in there.
Like I'm gonna have to throw that inner tie rod tool. I think that's gonna be on this week's as well, because that one was a good time saver for this last Friday. So we'll have that one as always coming out on Wednesday evening. Nifty the imager. Yep, that thermal imager. I legit use that one also, and I've got photos to prove for that one. We've got a Ram 5500 that we put a manifold, and Brandon helped to do a turbo on it as well. And that one, after we got it all done, we've got this high-pitched boost. Yeah, there's a boost leak. We ended up finally finding it. We used a thermal imager to find an exhaust leak off of one of the gaskets that we couldn't really get that day, going up to the EGR cooler. So it helped to find our exhaust leak. So that was something really cool that I got to use it for this last week. So that was pretty awesome.
Yep.
Well, that's about all I've got. Do you have anything else, Captain Ron?
No, not really. Like I said, it's just back to school with me, and gonna try to put out a video probably later in the week for interviewing some of the coordinators for one of the programs. And that's about it.
Yep. This week's going to be exciting. Make sure you keep an eye out here around YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Everybody's going to be getting their Toolheads crates.
Yes.
They're going to be you guys are going to be finally seeing what was in the first month's Toolheads crate.
Yes.
Hopefully you guys enjoy it, and it's going to get nothing but better as we go on here in the next couple of months.
And like we mentioned before, if you guys get your crates, throw it up on social media wherever you guys can, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, whatever it is, whatever platform you're familiar with or that you use, throw it up there. Tag us. Let us know how you like it. Let us know what you think of it. We definitely want those reviews, and we want that out there so that, like we said before, we'll get more feedback from other companies that we want to include into the next crates, if they can go out and see that they've got a lot of people who are happy with what they've got in it so far.
National Toolheads Week. It's like Shark Week. Just
Shark
less
Week?
bloody.
Yeah.
Hopefully not as many busted knuckles.
I was going to say, if you bust a lot of knuckles, you got bloody week.
Yep. So make sure you guys keep an eye out for that. That's about all we've got for you guys tonight. We're just over an hour into it, and I think that's about all we're going to do. I appreciate all you guys, and tuning into the channel tonight. We always have a fun time in handing out some little bits of information for you, going through what we've learned in the last couple of weeks. The sense of community that we have here with the tool and the truck community has been something that's just, absolutely awesome. We really appreciate, the support that we get from you guys. If we didn't have you, then we would be talking to a wall. It'd be kind of boring.
It would be kind of boring.
Boring.
Last minute questions coming in. What is the new Snap-on Probe worth the money so far?
For me, it is. I've used it 3 times in the last week, mostly diagnosing problems on a lot of these ProMaster vans. I do a lot of work on conversion vans, so the wiring diagrams aren't always the most forward, as in there are none to go off of.
Right.
So trying to find and put power to some of these remote options, blower motors, auxiliary coolant pumps to find out if they're working or whether the ground's there or not, being able to put ground to a pump. It's fantastic for doing that. And I absolutely love it. It's awesome.
Andrew V says, I'll get a 3rd crate if Jim does a mullet.
If he does the mullet or chops the hair off? Chops it on off?
Ashley says no.
No. All right, guys. I think we're going to be calling it for an evening. I appreciate it. You guys are the best. Absolutely the best. I appreciate it. As always, you guys stay awesome.
We'll see you next time. Wrong one.